expressway. Okay. So, and we'll go around because we'll talk about all the islands, but we're going to start this with Scott. So, Scott, Cameron says, when's a good time to buy a house on Oahu? My parents are looking to buy a house that has enough land on it to build an Ohana suite. I'm assuming there's enough when we're spelling it, but also have 3-bedroom and 2-bath. Scott, what's the answer? Answer the question. When is a good time to buy the house? What's the answer?
As Dylan would say, yesterday, I think. I mean, the way the market's going, yeah. I mean, it's the sooner you get in, the better. There's never a wrong time to buy. It's always, is it the right time for you? If you have, if you're ready to put down roots and you have a secure job, then now's the time to buy if you want to build a financial foundation.
Yeah, I mean, prices are going up and they're not showing any sign of slowing. And with the interest rates are going to go up even more.
Yeah, so the funny one, part of this is, I'm going to be a little joking in the sense that it says has enough land, because here in Oahu, we will squeeze every little bit of, what we can get out of a property, even on small land. Effectively, to answer the question, for Ohana, for you to be able to build an Ohana, you have to be in an area where it allows an Ohana dwelling, which is going to be a second dwelling on the property that is actually intended for family only, that you're not supposed to be renting out. You sign an affidavit, it gets attached to your title. The other component would be an ADU, which is similar, but they're, it's another dwelling, but there are different restrictions and different requirements. You can rent it out. But there's most of the Ohana and ADU components are more going to be in your urban development areas, your residential areas. And you can get some of it out in the country settings, North Shore, Windward Coast, but most of it is going to be in those urban core settings where your density, where density is allowed, right? And in the urban core, density is kind of the name of the game, and we need more housing. So the county is more flexible with what you can do from having a second dwelling. You actually can also get properties where you don't need to do an Ohana or an ADU. You actually have enough land where you can build a second dwelling and it can be a full-blown house. That's some of the stuff that I've developed before.
Great, Scott. Thanks. Heidi, how would you answer Cameron's question? If they're looking for, he wants a house on enough land in it to build an Ohana unit, with a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, what would be your answer to Cameron?
Well, the question, when is a good time to buy? I mean, I would say, as soon as you can find something that fits your needs. There's all kinds of considerations in buying a property like this. There's some areas in West Maui where you can build an Ohana, but you would have to convert a cesspool to septic, something like that. So you want to know those kind of things. But yeah, there are properties like this available. And I mean, I would say, as soon as you can find something that fits your needs, and just make sure that you do your due diligence in actually being able to build the Ohana and what it's going to take. Or you might be able to find something that already has an Ohana built into it, either attached or detached.
Yeah, it's always important to remember there's no seasonal cycle in Hawaii, right? I mean, it does get a little bit busier in the winter and the summer when people are here visiting, but it's not like other places where kind of real estate shuts down during the winter time, and in the spring's like a really good time to buy. So if you're looking for a seasonal kind of time, that's not really going to happen. And yes, last week or last year was the best time to buy. So hurry up. The Ohana question, this is a complicated one because it really depends on each island. There's different, the zoning and building code regulations vary from island to island. So like on the Big Island, Ohana is a legal term, right? So people use it kind of just throw it out there, but there used to be a legal way to build an Ohana property. They did away with that, so you can't even do it anymore. So an Ohana used to be a second dwelling that had a full kitchen and all that kind of stuff. If you have one, it's grandfathered in, but you can't do that going forward. So when people think I'm just going to build a second unit on my property, that's just not a thing you can do anymore on the Big Island. So what people do is they'll build potentially a second dwelling or an addition and then add kitchen facilities to it after it's approved by the county. And so that they're not necessarily a legal addition, but people do it all the time. So that's something to kind of think about and do a little deeper dive depending on where you're going to buy and what exactly the regulations are. What is the zoning? Are you going to upgrade your wastewater system? That's a big issue right now, is we cannot do cesspools anymore. So if you're on a cesspool and you expand any type of your wastewater usage, you have to convert to a septic tank in order to get permits to do that. So there's a lot of factors involved, and it's not just kind of a simple like, yeah, I'm going to buy here and build another unit on my property. It's very, very complicated, and there could be a lot of unforeseen cost implications if you don't do a little deeper dive into, what your plans are.
Excellent. Great responses. Is there anything else you guys, I'm gonna go back to our other questions. Is there anything else you folks want to add before we move on? Scott, go ahead.
Yeah, the seasonal component's an interesting one for people because we slowed down a little bit during the wintertime, but where on the mainland, where a lot of markets, people don't really bring their homes on the market during the wintertime because of the cold weather. We don't have that cold weather, and keep in mind, we get a large influx of snowbird people coming from the mainland during the winter that are looking to buy at that point. So we don't have these big fluctuations on the time to buy within the year. It's pretty consistent across the board.
Excellent. Excellent, Scott. Great responses, gang. So Cameron, hope that answers your question.